when we experience that amount of growth that quickly, it's going to expose you. So not only
what were the biggest changes that you made?
Well, one was replacing myself. That was the biggest one. So sales are now happening, and I'm not really involved in the process. Very little amount of involvement. And then the other piece was on the support side, reinvesting some of the profits, and we really restructured our management and support team this year in 2026 to help us avoid some of the inconsistencies on fulfillment that I think we have had a hard time avoiding, especially as you grow. All it does is it puts more stress on things that are not reinforced. And so I think we experienced some of that last year. When we grew a ton. I mean, in 24, 25, we had a lot of growth. And even though we were bigger than we had ever been, when we experienced that amount of growth that quickly, it's going to expose you, expose where you're weak. And it did. And that was what it highlighted. And so those are the two biggest things. And one thing I've had to learn the hard way is you don't want to hire somebody like an operations manager as like this bucket of, I'm just going to throw everything I don't want to do in that bucket, and you got to do that. And I have taken that approach. I have found it's not sustainable.
So what's the correct approach?
The correct approach is to take that role, that varied role with many different hats, identify the specific hats they're wearing, and then each of those hats are a role in and of themselves. Even if it's a part-time role, then just hire a part-time person for that thing. And so that's basically what we did. And at the end of the day, what most companies, I think, in my industry are trying to have an operations manager do is manage the schedule, make sure all of the supplies and equipment that need to be on site for the company to do their job are there, audit the work being done and report on the audits, and train the people. And if all of those things are done, in theory, you're going to have a really well-run machine. The problem is if you have dozens and dozens of accounts over multiple counties, one person is going to have a very hard time doing something like that.
The way I think about it, and where I think that a lot of entrepreneurs fail, is that it's your job as the entrepreneur to create a system that does each of those things, that then you can hire an operations manager to manage those systems. But you're the one that has to put in place the system that makes each of those pieces happen.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that.